Some worked, some not so much. How's it going, man? We're getting close to the spring bass season. All the fishing's about to start back up. So I figured, hey, I'm a little late to the game this year. Been kind of busy, but just get the rundown of what lures and techniques worked for me in 2023 and what ones were kind of just a waste of time and money. So we're not going to go in any particular order, but you know, let's start off. Which one was the biggest disappointment for me in 2023? That would probably have to be this sucker right here, the sleeper crawl. And I believe this is Mega Bass Sleeper Crawl. And if you look at it, it's almost like a Ned rig type of deal. And it's elastic and it floats. One, you got to keep this thing away from everything. If you know elastic, that's just the name of the game. But man, the overall, if you look at it, the hook's kept in there with the hook keeper. It swims good. It goes down. You would think this thing would just kick ass, but I have thrown this thing at every lake I went to in 2023. Stuff where like smallmouth and a lot of cliffs. I mean, things where you would just think it would kick ass. And I have never once got even a nibble on this thing. And it's just been so disappointing because, I mean, they're about $10. And so, you know, it's not a cheap lure. And I threw it everywhere. I even threw it places like the little farm pond that I go to every once in a while, thinking there's no way this thing isn't going to get smashed. And yeah, nothing. Nobody wants any part of it. And I don't know why, man, because it is a good looking lure. You would think this thing would just kick some butt, man. The way them claws just kind of float up in air like that. Nope. I got a couple different colors on it, and I keep them in this little container here. But yeah, I've got like the natural. I got the natural. I've got, you know, the black and blue. I think I even got, you know, a green pumpkin and red flake watermelon type of thing, and nothing. I have not got a bite, man. And you drop that type of money, like $10 on a lure, and you're like, you would hope you'd at least get a nibble, but no, not so much. I will share at the end of the video, I want to share the technique that overall just kicked ass for me no matter where I went. It really changed the way I did fishing last year and really just kind of performed no matter where I threw it. So, you know, stay at the end. I'll keep that one for the end. And not trying to be, you know, do that type of thing. But yeah, I just want to kind of save it so I can kind of go in a little detail on it. One of the biggest surprises for me, let's get into my topwater, were, I guess, a disappointment and surprise. I usually, if anybody looks at my videos, when it comes to frog fishing, I really love the River to Sea and the Vega frog from 6 Cents. That's been my two really good, you know, topwater frogs, the rubber hollow frogs, for the last couple of years. And then I wanted to try this one out. They're kind of expensive, but the Mega Bass, there you go, I think it's called a Big Gabbit. And if you look at it, it's got that nice little spitting kind of a cutout in there, that little V. The performance on what really got me on it, I'm not the greatest at walking any type of top lure whatsoever. This was really, really easy to walk. I mean, just little movements, that thing would just coast through there. I had really good luck on it, and you look the quality on it, it's really good, and they're not really that expensive. I think most frogs will cost you about $10 or more. I think this one was maybe 15. If I want 12, 15 bucks. So it's not like it's like way out there. And then you hear Mega Bass and you're like, oh man, I can't afford that. But no, really get the hook set on it. And what gets me, like if you looked at my last year's video, when I talked about the jackal frog, the body, it was really good, but the body was so stiff, it just killed the hookups. And this, look at this. It's probably one of the softest bodies that I've had on a frog. Hooks, of course, really good. I think they're, what do you call them? Gazama, what, you know, the G one. But yeah, so the hookup on it is great. The spitting motion on it is awesome. The way that it's got that contour on there, it really comes through cover. When I was throwing it at some lily pads, some really bad, because, you know, lily pads got the little flowers on top that just grab everything. It just came through there great. So that was really, really That's been my big surprise topwater, was that one. And I've been kind of switching over to them. I got a red, I've got a black and blue. Of course, I've got that, you know, that chartreuse, you know, kind of a natural type of frog color. Really good. So if you haven't tried that out, take a look. I think they actually make one that's called a pony, which is just a smaller version of this. This is typical, your average frog size. I think it's 2.5, 3 inches. But yeah, really, really good frog. One frog that really kind of disappointed me was the Spro. It's like a Spro paddle kicking frog like that. I've tried this. You would think, and the legs kind of kick back and forth as it goes through the water, almost like a buzz frog. And man, I was seeing this thing, and this was like 10, 12 bucks. I was like, oh, this is going to be awesome. One, everybody says Spro's top frogs, and I'm probably going to get lynched on this one, but I don't really have a lot of luck with Spro. I don't know why, but it seems like I have more luck with my other frogs than I did that one. But I seen this one, I was like, man, that would be really good. It's almost like, you know, I'll turn to like a buzz bait or a whopper plopper. Nothing. And I don't know why, because it's real soft body, floats through really good. The kicking action is really good, but nothing, man. And it's just sit there, and now got a hold of one of my last decks, kind of messed the feet up, so I'm going to have to probably toss this sucker. Yeah, or just buy another one. But that was one that was really kind of disappointing for me when it came to it. And I think it's called like the kicking frog from Spro or something like that. So let's see. So that was a bad one. What's another one? This one I think I had listed before. Anybody's used the Z-Man, the big blade? I think I'm seeing these suckers go on clearance about everywhere. This is one, I've even had a couple friends went out and bought a bunch of these when they came out because they were a good alternative to a jackhammer, because they supposedly start up and got really good thump. And they're like $11.99. But I've got like 6 of these. I have never once at any lake I threw it in 2023 even got a nibble on this. And I don't know why. Maybe it's too much. You know, sometimes you can get too big, too much, where it just kind of scares them off. I've got it in, you know, all kind of different colors. I've tried, you know, different trailers on it. That's that spunk shed that's on the back of there now. No luck, man. So if you've tried that, you know, leave in the comments. Maybe there's something going on, but I've tried slow start and stop, real slow retrieves, flash retrieves, everything. That's been another disappointment for me in 2023. One of the ones that was going to a good one, if you watch some of my videos where I was going through blade baits, I really like blade baits, especially in, you know, kind of that finesse type, because it's kind of like a, what do you call it, a lipless and everything, but you seem like you get a little bit more of a, you know, a tighter vibration, and it seems like I get, you know, bites where you can't get on other type of, you know, other type of baits. I usually go to like a blade bait, and my good one was a cheaper one called the Cotton Cornell, and I always had really, really good luck no matter where I threw it. And then I seen some videos and I did some testing with it, and that Demiki, the Demiki blade bait, and see, there you go, that is right there. That has been really, really good for me. Especially you can get it, I got one that's like a silver with black top that does really good in areas where they're kind of chasing shad. And that has been another one of mine that's turned into one I didn't know about into a go-to. So if you're really a fan of, and I've tried all of them. If you look at my videos, like I said, I was at Cotton Cornell. I was looking at the Mega Bass. I was looking at a bunch of different ones. And that Demiki, really, I think it's called Demiki Vibe something. Just check it out, man. That's a really, really, really good blade bait that's kind of come. The only problem I've had with it is the hooks are really sharp, but I think they may be a little too brittle, because I've had them where one of the hooks have actually, you know, broken off on a couple of different of these, and I've had to switch the hooks out. So the only thing bad, if I had to give it a knockout, would be the hooks. Like I said, they're really sharp, but they're a little brittle. So, you know, you hit something and, you know, get a snag or something, they kind of just pop right off. So it's something to be aware of. Another, so we'll go from a good, let's go back to a bad. This one, these are kind of expensive. They're the 6th Sense Gyro. And I've had, you know, it's another finesse. If I'm throwing around, especially chasing bait fish, I'll throw a tailspin. And that thing right there, I've thrown it everywhere. Because you always hear about these, and I think there's some by the Jackals or whatever that are supposed to be really good. And I've thrown this and thrown this and thrown this and thrown this. Never got a bite. And it was kind of shocking because it's a really good looking lure. It has a good motion, and it's got even got a rattle in there, but nothing. I don't know what it is. I've thrown it at probably 4 or 5 different lakes. Nothing. Not even a sniff. Just nobody wanted it. And then what's crazy, because then I'll turn around and be like, okay, maybe that's not what they want, and I'll throw this cheap Academy H2O tailspin right there. I think these things you can get for like $1 something, maybe $2, compared to, I think this thing is like $10, $12. Time you pay the shipping, which usually when I get stuff from 6 cents and the shipping on it is astronomical. I mean, that's an investment. So yeah, but then you go to Academy, you can get that sucker, that little tailspin right there for like, I think maybe $1 something, $2, maybe $3 max. And I'll throw that on there and wham. And I've got this in a couple of different colors and sizes, and this thing just comes through clutch. And it's cheap, man. So if you're in an academy and you see that little tailspin there, I'd pick one up. They got a bunch of different colors and sizes. You'd be shocked. Now, the retrieve on it can get a little, you got to kind of watch your speed because it'll want to roll on you. But when that thing gets to going, man, I've got bites on there when nothing else will. What do we got next? So, we're going to go through 2 disappointments at once. So this one has been pretty good. I've heard people talking about it. It's a 6 Sense sweep, and man, it is a really good looking swim bait, and it's opened up on the bottom there, so you can get a hook in there. It's got a couple different hooking techniques that you can use on it. And what's the problem is, man, I mean, it is a beautiful looking lure, and it's one of those ones I think they caught the fisherman and not the fish. Because the problem I got is no matter how I hooked it, if I threw, a hook inside of it, if I nose hooked it, if I threw a swim bait hook through it, a couple different ways, it would always want to turn over. And I could never get it to run true. It always want to turn over, almost like the sleeper gill, or not the sleeper gill, the gilly from Berkeley was doing on me. And I tried a bunch of different deals, and it's got even the side fins to balance it. I don't know. I mean, leave a comment. Maybe there's something I'm doing wrong. But like I said, I've tried about 3 or 4 different hooking techniques. So far, every time when I'm going through, that thing just starts to roll over on me. Similar to this. This is the Berkeley Nessie, I believe is what they call it. And man, you get these for about $7, $8. I think you can even get them at Walmart now. Really cool looking. It seems like it's kind of a smaller deal to kind of get with that 6 Sense, or not 6 Sense, Mega Bass, the big swim baits. What do they call those things? Mega Draft. And maybe that is, but it's kind of cool because if you see it's got these little fins on there that you would think to kind of help get it run true, but it's like you really, almost like the Mega Bass Mag Draft, you kind of have to really watch. It's like I try to do it where there's a little bit of chop and a little wind in the water, and it would just come through. It just start coming through on its side, and you have to. It's like if you get a little too fast, it'll want to roll over. If you go too slow, it just. It's a good looking lure. It's the quality on it's probably not the greatest, but I have yet to get a bite on it, man. I don't know what's going on with it, but who knows? I have to get out there a couple more times. So I've taken out a couple different lakes, and so far, no luck whatsoever. So we'll stick with it. But yeah, that's the Berkeley Nestle, and so far, I feel like they could have done a little bit. I know they make bigger versions of it, but with those little plastic fins, I mean, if you can get the motion right, it's pretty good when it gets that nice little S motion. But then you can only get to go so far, and then it wants to tumble on you. And I don't know, man. So we'll keep trying it out. But it seems like a lot of stuff with the Berkeley is either hit or miss for me. And all right, I think we're to. This was the technique. Sorry to save it so far in there, but this was the technique that no matter what I did, where I went, it just worked great. And if you've used it before, it's, they say go small, little finesse. And if you people that like to throw spy baits, I didn't know anything about spy baits, so I tried different spy baits, and I was watching guys like the Milliken and a couple other people. They were talking about using spy baits and then small, going down when things get hard and you had high pressure areas to kind of shrink your bait, and going to using those 2.83 inch paddle tails. So what I got is this right here. It's called a Mega Bass Screwhead, and it's pretty much acts as a spy bait, and where you got that little torpedo propeller going there. And I would pair that up with a 2.8 inch Kitech. Different colors. Like this one here, I think is called the Sexy Shad. I've done it with the what is it? The Silver Flash Minnow has been really, really good. And then even if you go to like the 6 Sense, I've got some of the 6 Sense has that 3 inch Divine swim bait. And then if you can find the smaller whale, if you look at my videos when I was at Wilson and I caught that 6.1 inch walleye, that was on this with the little small 3 inch whale. If you look at the video I had where it was a fish of a lifetime, I caught that 8.4 pound walleye. It's either walleye or sogeye, and that was on this. And it's not very big. This is probably an 1/8 ounce, maybe 3/16 ounce. What is it? I think I had the package. Yeah, I just had it. Yeah, this is 1/8 ounce. So it's 1/8 ounce. You don't need a good. So that smaller wire hook really kind of aids in your hook set. and you throw that on there with that smaller one, especially in places where they're chasing swim bait and trying to push it up against rocks, man, you would be shocked on how many fish. I've thrown this, like when I'm throwing, you know, wacky rigs aren't working, jackhammers aren't working, regular paddle tails aren't working, everything. And I'll throw this on there. I'll just throw that on there, and you just slow roll it as slow as you can. That little propeller creates like a whooshing sound in the water. And then you get that little bitty paddle tail kicking in the back. The thing has come through clutch. Look at some of my videos that I've got where I'm catching wipers. I've got some I haven't made yet. I've been coming to fence if I want to put more of the wipers out there. But I've had ones where I've caught like 10, 12 wipers on that. I just let it sink down and kind of slowly roll it back, and they annihilate it, man. So yeah, if you haven't tried it, that is called the Mega Bass Screwhead. Is what it's called. Mega Bass Screwhead. They come like packs of 3. They're about $5-6 for a pack of 3. It's kind of expensive, but man, they really, really, really work. Especially the cupping on the bottom of the head like that really kind of keeps it coming true. Throw that on a 3. Any of your favorite, man. It doesn't have to be a Kitech or a 6 cents or anything. Any of your favorite 2.8 to 3 inch paddle tails, and reel it slow and watch. I bet you money you start catching fish. That, and if I want to give an honorable mention, if you're looking for a good paddle tail, you know, swim bait head, I found one that's been really, really, really working good for me, is that BWC swim bait jig. That right there. And see, it's got that real lifelike fish head on the top of the jig. I usually run about a 1/4 inch. And if you look at it, it's cupped. So when you get the paddle tails, they just nest in there perfectly. So it almost looks like one of those 360 baits, like where it's just like truly mates up. And man, it really, these things will work good. And I'll try other ones, you know, your typical swim bait heads, and I'll throw that on there, and boom, they'll start smashing it. So there it is, man. I hope you enjoyed the video. You know, and again, if anybody's wondering from last time if I've done any luck with the umbrella rig, hell no, that stuff still didn't work. I dropped like, I don't know how much money, dropped like $40-something on a 6 cents umbrella rig, a couple of the other umbrella rigs, lost all of them. They all got snagged up. Not one bite. I think I did have one fish hit it, and almost like he threw it back in my face and was like, get that shit out of the water. I don't know what it is. I know people swear to it, but that umbrella rig has just been a thorn in my side. Just like that. And I've been trying through, if anybody's trying to shaky head, I have yet to get a shaky head to work. I can throw on a wacky rig or just a, you know, a worm hooked, you know, finesse worm. Get it. I throw it on the shaky head and nothing whatsoever. So, all right, man, I hope y'all enjoyed the video. That's what worked, and that's what didn't work for me in 2023. We'll see what happens going into 2024. Fishing season's about to start up. This will be in my armory. This will work, and man, I give that a shot, because I think you'll be surprised. Now it's one of my go-tos. All right, man, until next time, hope you liked the video.